Hey guys, and welcome to the next tutorial for certified ethical hacking. In this tutorial I'll be teaching you about how we could, once we have the remote access of that computer, maybe just in case we may require, let's say for example we have the SSH connection already, then at this point of time we may require something more, let's say for example more advanced, something like a graphical user interface in our victim's computer. So at that point of time, we would be installing something that is known as a tight VNC server. It will go ahead and create a VNC connection to a remote computer, and that it would go as the remote connection over there. So I'll just type apt get install tight VNC server and x tight VNC viewer, both of them. VNC server is if you, in case you want to go ahead and make your own computer as your server, and x tight VNC viewer is to go ahead and okay, great, it's already installed by default. So now let's say for example I want to start a VNC server on my own Kali Linux, and I'll take a remote connection of my own computer as well. So just in case if you want to do something that to something else, you can also go ahead and do that. But in case over here in my computer, over here I'm taking the remote connection of my own computer through a VNC connection. So let's assume that we are in a victim's computer. So the first thing that we would be doing is we would be SSHing into the victim's computer. So you would type SSH root @localhost to our victim's computer -p 9672 and the password, and now I have the access to the victim's computer. Over here I'll type VNC server, and it will ask me to go ahead and create a default password to access that. So I'll just type the same thing as for my Kali, that's TOOR. Okay, password is toStart, and I'll just type, let's say, tour@123 and tour@123, and it's asking whether you want to enter a view only password. That means no one should be anyone can go ahead and view that. I will say no, and I'll hit enter, and it's created. And as you can see, port 1 is created, and by default this port 1 means 5901. That is the port number that's created. So I'll just go over here and go ahead and type x tight VNC viewer and my IP address of my computer. Let's go ahead and see what's my IP address of this connection is. This is the IP address. I'll just copy it over here and I'll paste it over here, :1, and I'll hit enter. It's asking me the password, so I'll type the same password. And as you can see, a new window will open over here. It will show me, okay, so as you can see, this is the default connection over here. It's showing that something has gone wrong. The reason because of that, it's not able to go ahead and display me the proper configuration of the computer over here. But you can, however, go ahead and configure these files over here into the VNC directory and make changes as to changing the bits per pixel file and the resolution part. So as of now, I have not yet installed the VMware tools over here. You can just go over here, right click and install VMware tools. Once you go and install them, it will have the graphical user interface available for itself. Now let's go and try if we could do the same thing using localhost. Okay, @123, and perfect, it's still working. Let's go ahead and close this. Okay, so now just in case, for example, let's say you created this and you even installed the SSH. I'll just go ahead and exit from the SSH part over here, and I'll exit it from over here itself. So let's just assume that you installed that specific part into that person's computer, but you don't know exactly which ports are open for that specific computer. So what you would do in that case is you would use nmap to see which ports are open in your victim's computer. So you would type nmap -a, and you will type in the victim's address, which in our case is this, and I'll hit enter. So this is my own computer, so I'll be using that. It will show me which ports are open, and if you remember properly, the SSH that we created in my previous tutorial, or which I accessed in this tutorial, the port was 9762, and this is the 5901. That is the port which is open over here for VNC connection. Now you might be wondering why the 9762 or 9672 is not shown over here right now. The reason for that is because SSH ports are not shown over here. 5901 is the port open for VNC connection. In case I want to go ahead and close that, I could just click over here and I'll go ahead and close the VNC connection part over here. So I'll just type, because that connection is still active over here in my computer, so I would go ahead and need to kill that. So I'll just go ahead and type VNC or VNC server kill :1, and okay, sorry, VNC hyphen kill :1. It'll go ahead and kill the first part over here, and I'll just let me just check the correct font path, and let me just check if I have done something wrong. And the display is 1. Okay, let me just check. VNC kill 1, and perfect. As you can see, killing extract VNC process ID 2279. Now if I'll just go ahead and run the nmap once again and see if that port is still open. If it is, then we'll need to close that specific service and make sure that it won't be running. Perfect. As you can see, it was not able to detect at least one open and one closed port. That means our port, which was 5901, is closed as of now, and no one can get into our system. And since it's Linux, as you can see, even the SSH is not shown over here because that's extremely secure. But in case you are using any other Linux distribution, it may show the same thing over here. So yeah, that's how it actually works in detail. So now that you know a bit of these things, let me just go ahead and show you the basic things that are there overall in Kali Linux, and after that I'll go ahead and proceed to my other part. So I'll just go ahead and before that I'll just go ahead and scan my Windows 7 and see if there are any things open over there. So I'll just type nmap-sp 192.168.19.1. that would be my gateway, I believe, because the last part is always the gateway's original part over here, and a lot of other things. So 129 is probably the Windows IP, so I'll just type 129 and I'll go ahead and scan that, and I'll see. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and type -a, and let's see what information we get about our Windows computer and whether these ports are open or not. By default, 139 and 445 ports should be open because they are NetBIOS SMBC file ports that are actually open by default in Windows 7, Windows 8 and other versions. I'll just wait till it goes ahead and tries to gather its information. And by that time, just in case it's taking its own time, you can also go and try to ping that computer just to see whether that computer is actually live or not, because in case you're actually trying to gather information over here, but in case the computer is shut down, then you won't get any information. As you can see, we are getting the time to live response over here. That means it's still active. So I'll just wait till I get my sufficient information as to which port is open. Then in the next tutorial I'll go ahead and attack that specific computer, and I'll show you how we could go ahead and insert Trojan viruses inside that. So let's just wait for the time being right now. Let's go to the Windows computer and check whether that's the actual CMD config, and yes, 129 is the IP address, and the default gateway is actually 2 and not 1. I'll just also open ZenMap from over here and see much more detailed information using ZenMap. I'll just type 192.168.19.129, and I'll just go ahead and select IntentScan plus UDP, and I'll just type all TCP ports. Or let's wait, I'll just go and I'll try to set scan. So it'll show me the post open, the topology, the host details and everything. Okay, I'll just go ahead and close this from over here since it's taking its own time, and let's try to use the ZenMap function. Okay, so as you can see, there are a hell lot of ports open over here, which is not good. And as you can see, 135, 554, 445, and these lot of ports are open over here. These are the UDP ports that are open for 137, and let's go ahead and wait till we get much more information about them. You can also go ahead and change the scanning in case you want to insert your own part file over here. It will go ahead and show you over here as well. UDP scan is complete as of this, and we are just waiting for the OS scan response time, so just wait till that happens. These ports shouldn't have been open at all, which is actually a very big vulnerability in Windows 7, which is however actually taken care of in Windows 8, Windows 10, most likely in Windows 8 as well, or 8.1 probably. Yeah, as you can see, about hardly 1% is done over here, so I think it will take its own time. By time, we'll just go over here and check the fisheye, and as you can see, this is how specific combination of the netmask is. So you can just go and get the layout of that specific as well as to how it was exactly, and I'll just go and open interpolation as well. So you can just go over here and try to manage these things out. I'll just go and close these things. This is how the fish eyes look like, and fish eye means for example, it's showing you the topology. As of now, I believe this is a ring topology. In your case, this is the main computer, and these are the other computers, and this is my computer over here, which is actually okay. This is my computer, which is actually out of the way right now. The reason being that I am the one who is actually searching. But this is showing me that what kind of topology it is in. This is actually very useful in gathering information about a company's infrastructure as to whether they are using a ring topology or star topology or a mesh topology, and gather information as what are those things which can actually go ahead and slow this company down. Most people actually use this information to go ahead and do a DDoS attack, or sorry, DDoS attack, that's distributed denial of service attack. So I think that this would take its own amount of time, and I probably won't be waiting that long. Let's see how much for it has completed. It's hardly 3.77% done, but I'll just go ahead and do this information on your system, and you will get the required information. I think that would be it for this tutorial as of now. In the next tutorial, I'll be starting with actual hacking and how we could go ahead and create trojans to attack our victim's computer. So thank you for watching this tutorial, guys, and have a nice day ahead.